live. Live.
Live streamed by staying in the same. You've been live streamed. Anyone
live feed, lads. Live feed.
Got it. What's crack, lads?
Oh, how you get on, boys?
Good.
Not too bad. I'm a bit fucking depressed today, to tell you the truth.
You're in the right place, Pete. A positive place.
I'm just fucking had too much fucking drink over the fucking weekend. I feel like a bit of a fucking slob worm. I'm fucking eating shite food. I just need to get back in a routine again. You know?
I know.
Yeah,
but you know what I think it is? I think you're missing. You're missing gigs.
I'm missing what? Terry Norman. I'm missing Terry Norman, actually.
Yeah.
I did say that about Terry the whole time. I miss Terry as well.
I miss Terry Norman. If anybody doesn't know who Terry is, you check him out. He's a very funny fucking comedian. But no, I know. It's just that after the long weekend, I think everybody's kind of fucking feeling a bit disheveled.
Yeah. It's been.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, that is it. And we've had a long run at the live shows, and they're so
sound has gone down there, Steve.
My sound has gone down.
Yeah, or is it me?
It could be you.
How's my sound, Chris?
You seem sound to me, but
maybe it's me. Turn
it up this way. So yeah, the live gigs, they're brilliant. I love them, and I've said this 1,000 times. So time consuming. It's not just the time that you're at the show, it's the traveling to get to it. It's the preparing all the stuff that goes with it. And then the real time consumer is
the drink.
After drinking, it is just like the older we're getting, or the older I'm getting, the harder it is to pick yourself up again.
But you forget something, Cowboy. You're a greedy bastard.
I know. unless there's a live show the next night, again, it's awful hard. It takes days to get around to it. And then, of course, there's the next night, and then there's a drinking the next night as well. And I'd love to be able to do it. I'd love to be able to do the live shows without the mad sessions.
We used to do them.
So I don't know what happened there. Maybe it was because after lockdown we just went mad.
I think it was just after lockdown. Things were like cattle that needed to be let out from
the crowds are wild now as well. It's like they're climbing the stage. It's like they can't, it's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so just say hello to a few of the guys in the chat here. Yeah. Cardinal O'Flanagan, a top man, and supporter of our Patreon supporter, an absolute legend. He says, how are you lads? What's the crack? Cardinal, you're a legend. Hope you had a good weekend. Shane Masterson says, well, lads, hope all is well with you.
TV. What is the crack?
Shane, how are you getting on, man?
TVPC says, bringing any Ukrainians into the house. Now, Cowboy's not allowed to bring Ukrainians into the house because he's a sex addict. People are worried that there'll be World War III in fucking Eastern Europe. They'll be in fucking Lislaka. They'll be all kicking off. Lee Murphy says, story lads. And yeah, Shay Master says, I don't remember the drink, but I'd say that's a lie.
I'd say
he was
so.
Buying half the drinks, the fucker. He never let us buy one drink.
He's a man. Some
man. Thanks very much.
Some man for one man.
Lee Murphy reckons that the crowds are ripping up the floorboards looking for pipe. A good.
They are in some of the venues. I'm just trying to get
special.
I'm going to put you on a speaker because I can't fucking hear a thing. Maybe it's my phone.
I'm just trying to see where I can get the comments so that I can see them myself. But Chris, you're going to have to
hang on.
Sure, I will be our connection to the guys in the comments.
Right, that is it.
Anyone that's watching this, tell us about your Paddy's Day weekend. Give us some tales of woe or some joyous occasions. Let us know what's going on out there. Because I'd say there was a few fucking leery weekends had by all like.
Over the last few weeks, I'm sure there has been. It's been ages. How long since we've done a live or even a podcast?
Yeah,
the Guinness Guru.
We did. The Guinness Guru was the last one.
Yeah. By the way, guys, we haven't announced it yet, and I was talking to Skeffs earlier on today, but we are going to be doing a live podcast with the Guinness Guru. See what Chris has in his hand there, a nice bottle of $3 left, or $3 stout. We're going to be launching that in Skeffs on April 7th in Galway. The Guinness Guru is going to be coming down. We haven't fully announced it yet, but next Monday or Tuesday we will. But it's easy to do it on YouTube because there's only people watching at the minute. But we're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing a live podcast. Then we'll probably do a recorded podcast, and we're just going to be launching the stout. Now, another thing is, I don't plan on drinking until we actually start the podcast this time.
Really?
Yes.
It worked so well the last time.
It worked well, apparently. So I haven't watched it, and I don't want to watch it. They say you should never watch yourself when you drink on you, and I have no intention of watching it.
Even you don't watch any of the podcasts.
That's true. I hate
it.
What did you say there, Steve? You don't intend on what? Drinking?
Until the podcast starts.
Until the podcast. The podcast is only a week, is it?
No. I mean, on the nights, I don't plan on drinking until like when I was with the Guinness Guru, we were drinking all day. And by the way, I had a pint and a half more than the Guinness Guru at that stage. I just want to make that clear.
Oh, that's where it went wrong, is it?
Tell that to the judge. Tell that to the judge.
But listen, I held me on.
You look fucked. Tell you the truth, you look fucked.
Stephen, you were
thanks, Steve. You're meant to have my back, man.
I'm telling it like it is. You looked absolutely fucked.
There was a part at the very start of that podcast where Stephen was trying to introduce who was in going to be on the show or whatever, and it was taking so long for him to get the words out that I started looking over at the Guinness Guru, and he was like, "This guy's fucked," and I was like, "Cowboy, you're fucking steaming." You're like, am I slurring my words? And I was like, "He's fucked. He's fucking gone, gone."
And remember as well, the Darius, he was 6'8". Everyone thought I was like a leprechaun beside him, but anyway, everyone was like a leprechaun beside him.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
6'8". Jesus.
Yeah. He made Big Mick. Chris.
$3 stout, lads.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
So
at the minute it is brewed in County Limerick, and it's Mad Cutchy that is he the distributor? Is that how you say it?
I suppose so. Yeah.
So we're trying to build up a relationship with Tom down there. He's a Kerry man, actually, a lovely guy. So
he's also trying to keep that secret, but Stephen doesn't take it. Oh, that's right.
Well, I didn't give a second name.
Perfect. Yeah, but obviously that, like, between the beer and the gigs and work and all that type of stuff, we haven't been as active over the last couple of weeks. So
that plans that is going to when we've a bit more free time with the live shows. We will be returning to live shows again in a few months, of course. Yeah. But we get a few podcasts done, nailed down.
Yeah. Rachel Coyne says, "Good evening, lads. Good podcast. Guinness Guru."
How are you, Rachel? How are you getting on? Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for watching.
What you listening to what we said about that we're going to have another podcast with the Guinness Guru in Galway on April 7th?
Yeah. So that should be good crack. Yeah, obviously we have to logistically we have to kind of piece that show together, but it should be good crack. It'll be
great crack. We're going to be there's going to be tickets for it. I think the Skeff is going to charge €15 for it, but it's limited. It's really cozy. They're only going to release 60 tickets because they don't want it to show that everyone is just climbing on top of each other. They want this done in a nice cozy setting, and we just chat away.
Yeah, I did that would be great. Yeah, as I said, we'll be going live from the Skeff that night, and then we'll probably do a little bit extra for the patrons, or maybe
yeah
for that. But Yeah. So what's obviously since you've started gigging, World War III's kind of kicked off. What are you gonna do to fix that?
Yeah, Jesus, crazy. Yeah, I'm kind of like, I have no idea what's going on. All of a sudden, fucking the Russians were invading Ukraine. People were like, nah, they won't invade Ukraine. And then all of a sudden, Ukrainians are coming over here to stay. And people are like, fuck, it's fucking mental.
Do you remember, Pete, when we were driving down to Cork and we heard that your man was giving out the Zelensky was giving out the ammunition to everyone?
Yes, and I said that's going to end bad. Imagine if you started giving out guns.
It was already ended bad. What's happening is criminals are getting hold of rocket launchers, and they're going to have them for after the war and during the war, and they're taking out each other. Yeah, people are shooting each other for loaves of bread. I mean, it was always going to happen. Can you imagine giving every man in Ireland and woman in Ireland an AK-47?
Yeah, but at the same time, right?
At the same time, if it was the last, I know what you say. I know what you're going to say, Chris. If it was the last defense, do you know what I mean? Last wall of defense, you'd give everyone a gun. But but like Cowboy said, can you imagine imagine the Russians were invading Ireland and you give everyone a gun? There'd be lads with shite haircuts just getting fucking shot left, right, and centre.
Not coming off the subject. Speaking of shite haircuts, right? I was in Foxford today. And I had a cup of coffee in Foxford Willamette and a bite tea.
Oh, nice. You know how to treat yourself.
I went in and there was this lad there and he had a perfect haircut. It was a bit like Johnny Bravo. It was sort of dark blonde on the bottom, but then it faded into but really thick, right? And I just wanted to go over and shake the fuck out of it.
I know what you mean. You know, I know what you mean.
Exactly. Watch yourself, you soft cunt.
He's allowed to be metrosexual if he wants to be.
I know that, but I just wanted to do it, or else I wanted to get the pint of water that I had and just spill it over.
Well, that's the way I feel about you when you come out with crisp iron shirts. I just want to crease up your shirt.
Yeah. in fairness, like, imagine what he would say if you started scruffing up his hair. It'd be like, that scruffy cunt from TikTok was scruffing up my hair.
Yeah, I'd say he wouldn't say a lot. The same lad. I've seen bigger chest coming out of an oven. In fairness, Pete, you can't say anything about creasing my shirts. I iron your shirts for you at gigs.
He did. In fairness, he ironed the shirts, but took an awful lot of Plumawson to get you to iron them. Fuck's sake!
He rubbed me up the right way.
I did rub you up the right way.
Wow, we're seeing a side to these gigs.
Yes. How's life with you, Chris? How's things?
Yeah, it's grand. Busy. Just, things are fine. Work is insane, and you just kind of this is what happens when you work in busy industries and stuff. So
yeah,
it's trying to get. If anything, I've taken a couple of weeks just to myself. It's been
stuff.
Kind of.
Yeah, you haven't been down in a while, Chris.
Yeah, well, I was down 3 weeks ago, so I'll be down.
I suppose we were always away as well, so we kind of missed you. Do you know what I mean? We were kind of away.
Plus, you wouldn't want to be up and down with the price of diesel petrol.
Yeah, that was part of it. Like, it was actually taking the piss. It was costing me 65 quid or 70 euro.
One way, I'd say.
Up. Yeah, well, most of it was gone by the time I got down home, and I was filling up again. I was like, this is really
you're nearly cheaper getting a bus. Cheaper getting a bus or a train, but then you're stuck without a car down in Mayo. Do you know what I mean?
Fuck that. I wouldn't. I've
done a video on Friday about that.
What you say, Steve?
I have a video coming out about that either tomorrow or Friday. I might leave it. I've put a lot of videos in the last few days, short ones. So I'm going to leave it and then I'm going to put it up on Friday.
What are you eating there, lad? What are you eating?
I'm not eating anything. I'm carving it. I don't know. It's timber.
Oh, you're whittling, are you?
You're whittling.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
Whittling. Des D goes, how are you lads? Were you watching the Mayo game? Do you think they're sparing themselves for the Galway game?
No.
I think that people are giving them too much stick. I think they went out kind of defensive and they didn't let any goals in. So I think that's a plus. Do you know what I mean? I don't think they were too bothered either way. I think they were just trying something new out.
I think there's only I think you could easily have taken 6 or 7 or 8 of those lads out of the team that were going to be starting against Galway.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it was just getting the older players a run so they'd be fresh for Galway. Do you know what I mean? So like so Doherty and like that, he was just trying to get him to stretch his legs.
Yeah,
you know.
Doherty. In fairness, it's good to see Doherty back because he had a horrific injury. In fairness, they experimented with Aidan O'Shea at centre half back, and it was terrible.
I think he should stay. I think he should stay there. I think he should be in defence.
He's not mobile enough. He's not quick enough.
You reckon he should be fullback?
I think he should be fullback and just make a wall, stop goals going in. That's what I think.
Well, he should actually build a wall, like blocks.
He should do a bit of block lane. Yeah, he should do a bit of block lane.
Like, to be honest, that he's not mobile enough for the
block lane.
For either the football or the block lane.
Listen, he's mobile enough. Of course he is. He's a fucking animal. People say he's not mobile. He's
an animal, but you put him on the square and you just have some young, like the way the game is now, no one sticks in that position. So
but I think he should be just there for the aerial threat. You know what I mean? For goals.
There's no aerial threat. They're all runners coming through.
No, but Mayo lost. It's been from a big.
Yeah, you're right. It happened at Tyrone. It happened at Donegal. It happened in Dublin.
Yeah,
it happened so many times.
So I think you have to sacrifice him, put a wall up there and block the defense. That's what I think. But then again, I'm no expert. But after eating, I chew spearmint gum.
3 months gum.
Your sound is coming in and out like fuck.
Oh, sorry. I probably put my hand over the speaker. Am I?
I don't know. Maybe
that's it. Sorry. But that is. I think I probably shit internet as well. See my kettlebell there behind my ear? That's my kettlebell.
Pete, so are you going to bring it? You going to take in any Ukrainians?
This place I'm in, it barely fits the two of us. And the landlord wouldn't be too happy if we brought in other people. I don't think I'm supposed to be here.
Depends on what type of Ukrainians you bring in, Pete.
Well, this is it, you see. This is it.
You see, the problem is, and I put this up on Facebook a couple of weeks ago before the Ukrainians were coming in. I have no problem with Ukrainians coming in. I have no problem with anyone coming in that obviously doesn't mean any harm to the country. As you all know, I'm as charitable as they come.
I heard you're a racist, cowboy.
Well, I said you were.
No, I heard you're xenophobic. There isn't a racist bone in my body, but the problem is, you cannot land.
You can't follow it up by saying "but." That racist bone in my body.
I'm not even going to dignify that. Not even going to dignify that.
What racist slur are you going to say, cowboy? What racist slur are you going to say? Get it out of the way now. Get it out of the way fast.
No. We're building it up. We're building up to a crescendo now.
Are you in heaven? Are you in heaven there? Are you in racist heaven?
It looks like it. The problem is with people in on top of people is it'll be all right for a few days, and you know it yourself. Even if you if the family come home from America, there's 5 or 6 more people in the house, and people are cranky and using the toilet and leaving fucking. It doesn't work. It won't work. And I think is one person. Wait, all it'll take is one incident of you. And another thing is you are coming in, right? The people that are coming in, we don't know what. They haven't been vetted, and neither have the people that are taking them in haven't vetted.
Can we send some scumbags there as an exchange?
You see, this is it. The Ukrainian people are
scumbags for their scumbags.
No matter who you are.
I thought I was talking to a farmer today that offered to take in a family of Ukrainians, and he said that the Red Cross and the officials there had to do. There was so much of a vetting that it would take months for them to come. So.
Yeah, exactly. And how come there's already nearly 10,000 of them in? There's no way they could have done that.
They can. That's what the civil service is there for. There's thousands of civil
So the Red Cross, all the organizations are vetting them.
And they're already here. They vetted them that quickly. I highly doubt that.
But like the ones that are here, Stephen, are women and children.
There's a few dudes as well.
Yeah, there is, but like the majority are women and children.
But even women and children, eventually people will slip through the crack. And I'm not saying, even if they are women and children, there is only, Chris, would you listen to me?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Right. There's only so many houses in Ireland that would be able to take other people coming into the houses. They might be able to take them in for a week or two, but this could go on indefinitely. And suddenly you have people that don't really know English. And I want them to be here. I want them to be safe. But it's a catalyst for disaster. And all it takes is one incident where either a Ukrainian person does something to an Irish person, or an Irish person does something to a Ukrainian person, and then it'll be the shit will hit the fan again.
Yeah, but like there are going to be incidents. There's incidents every day of the week with Irish people. Like
there is
neither. So
yeah,
it's no different really. Like and what you're doing is, and to be honest, there's major issues. Like we were hearing the same thing about Syrian people coming here, you know, and realistically,
and how many Irish homes took Syrian people in?
But like they weren't even asked to.
How many Afghanistans do we take in? How many Palestinians do we take in?
Yeah, I know. At the end of the day, there's a refugee crisis, and they're bringing people in. I think that is the right thing to do, but what can you do? You know, it's like
my answer was on Twitter and Facebook was, you know, there are a lot of abandoned buildings and hotels. It's the quickest way and the safest way to even hire a security firm to do it, but do it obviously right. I'm not talking divisions. What do they call it?
Direct division.
I don't mean that, but there are hotels all over the country that are waiting to be moved into. The government service them with electricity and water, and then work. You know, let the people in and work around that. It'll be much safer in the long run and much more. And the Ukrainian people don't want to be landed in a strange family either.
Well, but like they do, because at the end of the day, the choice is go and have shelter or go figure it out on your own.
No, they do for a week or two, but eventually, it was even on the news. It was like they interviewed a Ukrainian family that had moved into a house in Kerry, and she didn't want to be there no more than they wanted them to be there long term. It was all right for days, but the cracks were starting to appear already, and that's just one family.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but like they are using hotels to put them in. They are using hotels, now. But they should use all the hotels.
Yes, but they were like when I put out this thing a couple of weeks ago, when I heard firstly that they were coming in, I actually, if you go back on Facebook or Twitter, you'll see what, and I was saying I'd love to think that it would work. I would love to think that 20,000 Ukrainians coming into the country would work going into people's houses, but it's not going to work. And therefore, why don't they use the abandoned hotels, abandoned nursing homes, or whatever has been abandoned, and use them, fully service them in a comfortable and safe manner. But then obviously the kicker was
that's just your opinion that it won't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And yes, it's like so let's put it this way, right? So
it might not work. It might work, but like Irish people have always taken people in. They're a charitable bunch. Do you know what I mean? Like yourself, you're charitable.
We're all charitable, and we've always. I'm not saying that, but
there might be a lot of lonely farmers out there that want to help, and they might want to bring people in as well. Do you know what I mean? They're not forcing Irish people. Irish people are signing up to let them in. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do know that, but not as many as they were hoping for in the beginning. But also, I am not saying that Irish people aren't doing that, and I would love to think it would work, but I honestly don't think it will.
So JP Byrne says here, if you're escaping war, beggars can't be choosers, which is very true. And there has understanding. You say about people getting cranky. That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse for anything. Being cranky is a bullshit.
Chris, I use the word cranky.
I know. I'm just saying. I know. You know what I mean? Like, but
beggars can't be choosers as well in a hotel. I mean, I think that's a much better option.
I agree. And Stefana goes, plenty of Airbnbs that could be used to help them, which is true. There's too many Airbnbs, and Airbnb is a major contribution to why rents have gone so high in Dublin. If you look at
Airbnbs won't give up summer rates for refugees. That's just
but like again, and
I'm not trying to be mean here. I'm trying to be realistic.
No, you're not trying to be mean. We're not trying.
If I had a house that could hold 1,000 people, I'd give it to them.
We're not trying to be mean back. It's not the two of us picking on you, ganging up. You're just expressing your opinion, what you believe. Do you know what I mean? The same way we are. Do you know what I mean? I know that. It's okay if you're racist. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's entitled to be racist these days. No. Listen. No, you're right. You've got a point. 100%, you've got a point. But the people aren't forced to bring them in. That's the thing. They've signed up to bring them in, and the Ukrainian people, I'm sure, are not going to get. They're going to be so.
The house I'm staying in at the moment in Dublin, like the lady that there's a few spare rooms here, and she signed up to the Red Cross to bring someone in. So it's like, do you know what? If it means 2 or 3 people are escaping war and you're giving them a place, you know, like. Most people are going to be understanding. Yes, there will be friction. That's part of life. Some people are going to be awkward.
Well, my point is there would be less friction. There would be less friction if it was in an environment like a hotel that was abandoned. And perfect example is Brafey House Hotel have taken in 200 Ukrainians, and I think that's brilliant because I know the complex itself was actually where the vaccination center was for Mayo, and now that the vaccination center is closed down again. It's a facility. It's like a hotel. It's like a second-hand hotel. It's like a hotel. Brafey Woods, yeah. And it can hold 200 people. It is serviced with electricity, with heat and water. And as JP Byrne said, not that I'm saying beggars can't be choosers, but what more do you want when you're after fleeing a war-torn country?
I think what you have to be open to is that there's not enough abandoned hotels or houses to house 20,000 people, and you will.
No, I think there is, Chris. I think there's
more than enough.
There's more than enough.
I don't know.
More than enough.
Because your problem is the ones that like the landlords that don't want to do it.
Yeah, I suppose they're waiting out to sell it. But I'm sure they're going, and like a lot of the hotels are going to get reimbursed by.
Of course, yeah. The government. The government. The government are reimbursing these hotels, and of course they're paying the homeowners as well. And that's where I think there's going to be friction as well. People are going to do it for the money, and then they're going to realize this wasn't a great idea, and then there's going to be friction.
But it's like people that like, and I've seen it so many times, especially in Dublin, where like there's a fella that owns a house and he rents it out. And then he thinks that he can still walk in and out of the place and treat it as his own and still take the rent. When realistically, when you rent it out, you still own the property, you still have to pay a mortgage on it, and you hope it's in good nick, and it's up to you to check it when it's that you have the right tenant in there. But realistically, you've rented it out to someone, so that's their home now.
Yes, of course. You cannot rent a house and then just walk in willy-nilly.
Yeah. And that happens so often.
Yeah, but the Ukrainian situation is a bit different if it's a house share. Do you know what I mean?
Of course,
no?
Of course.
Yeah. Unless of course the landowner stipulates that it's then that's called digs. They're just digs.
Yeah, if it's a living thing, it's a different story. You know?
Yeah.
I think that is. I think that'll be all sorted. I think it'll be fine. Rommel reckons that shingle farmers could get themselves a nice Ukrainian bird. Might.
Yeah, well, You never know. It might. You know what? It might be an answer. It might be an answer to a lot of people's problems.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Can you imagine in a few years' time, say if this conflict ends, right? In a few years' time, a young laddie grows up and he's 20 and he goes back to Ukraine and he says, "Well, you know, I went back to Ireland and these people put me up and we had a fucking great time and fucking." He comes back then and he meets an Irish woman and she kicks the fucking shit out of him.
I was feeling there's going to be a twist on that. Listen,
no.
I hope. I know where you were going with that, and I hope that happens. I think
that will happen. I think that will happen. I think in a few years' time, people, it'll be like looking back, like the Chernobyl kids that come over to Ireland. They keep coming over, and they have a great relationship with the host parents. And same with the Irish when they went to America. Do you know what I mean? I think it could work out. It could work out better than hotels because there's the family element. You know what I mean? Do you know? Like
I hope you're right.
I think it will. I think it will.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot more positives out of it than there are going to be negatives.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I hope so. Obviously, I used to be a real optimist in life, but life has taught me to be a little bit pessimistic.
That's because you were the beer all last weekend, you cunt.
That is true. Listen, guys, I'm going to bounce. You chat away there. Pete, explain what's going on tomorrow. Fill them in a few projects that we're coming up with.
Yes. What's the name of the charity, though? I don't know the name of the charity.
Well, it's Arc Mayo. It does work with disabilities. Yeah. With children with disabilities. Is made. Cool. They're around. I think they're all around the country. I'm not sure about that, but Arc Mayo is the charity that's involved.
Brilliant. Okay, you hit the road, Chief. Hit the road.
Explain what we're going to do and explain where it is and all that. Right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Sorry about getting heated. It's just.
It's okay. It's okay. You're.
They all understand. They all understand that you're a racist coming down from a heavy weekend.
I'm not a racist. Good luck.
Okay, it's okay. You big racist. Good luck.
All right, Pete. Thank God he's gone.
I never realized he was a racist. No, but I know where he's coming from too. I think he has sovereignty. He's a bit of a Republican, and he's sovereignty, and he feels like.
Yeah, I think.
But I think it's probably better that they're going to a family more so than a hotel. I like how afraid they could be. Do you know what I mean? Going.
I think look at this, and I said this situation that the Red Cross could be putting a family in this house that I'm sitting in right now.
Yeah.
This is an old B&B. There's a few extra rooms that aren't being used, and you know, it's like I know Teresa a couple of years ago took in people that were homeless.
Wow, fair play to her.
So reached out to Pakistan and look, I've got a couple of rooms here, and put someone up. And there obviously it wasn't always easy. There are issues.
Yeah, of course.
Again, you gotta be really sympathetic to the people that are fleeing this war, and some of them might have serious issues now coming out of it. You know,
post-traumatic stress or anything. Do you know what I mean?
But they deserve everybody deserves a safe place to be, and
100%. It's a human right. You know what I mean? To have a safe place to shelter. I think it should.
I think I can understand. It's like giving out all those guns and all that can seem like that's crazy. But I'd be fucking queuing up.
Oh yeah. But I suppose it was desperate times called for desperate measures. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. Oh, so to tell Cowboy left there, we are doing a come dine with me. Me and Cowboy are doing a come dine with me in the Brafey Hotel. I think Cowboy is paid by Brafey now. He's mentioned them a couple of times. He must be sponsored by Brafey. But it's a lovely hotel, in fairness. And they never let us into train in the one wall, though. They never let us into train in the one wall. Huh?
We got in a couple of times, I think.
We got in a couple of times. So anybody that doesn't know, I have a gripe. They have the one wall walls there when there's a one wall handball tournament on, and you used to try and get into train. But no, me and Christine couldn't get in. Me and Christine couldn't get in.
We were standing outside like two lemons. We didn't even go for a pint.
We didn't even go for a pint. We just couldn't get in. And then when the tournament came, we were fucking shit. Well, actually, Chris, you were good. You were good. I wasn't good. But anyway, that's beside the point. That's beside the point. Talk about going over ancient history. The Brave Hotel, brilliant place. We're doing a come down with me tomorrow night. It's for charity, and as Cowboy said, they do charity with people with disabilities, children with disabilities, and all the funds go to that charity. I think he said it was ARC from ARC charity. I think he said it. That's what he said. I think. So, Chris, tell me, how do you're a man that keeps his mind on the pulse of geopolitical stuff. How do you think this is going to end, this war in Ukraine?
I think it's going to last a long time. I think this is just one of those that keeps on dragging on, and I think that it'll end up with. So I think Zelensky might get assassinated, and that'll bring someone else in, and or there's been lots of. Russia flew over Sweden and Finland, so that's obviously a threat. They could threat. They could there could be someone like Poland that gets involved. Who the fuck knows? So these things, like if you look at the history of World War I or the history of World War II, it's not like Britain and France were suddenly in the war. There's slow escalation to everything now. Obviously, the big worry is that Putin's such a wild card. He does have chemical and nuclear weapons, and that who knows what's going to happen there. Like it would.
Some people were saying that he's not well or something, or some people were saying he's got dementia or cancer. Is that all propaganda?
Possibly, but there's also someone was telling me that there's a Russian Orthodox priest who's in his ear about how evil the Ukrainians are, and that's contributing to it. But if you look at Russia's or especially Putin's the way he wrote about Ukraine over the last couple of years, there's certain I was watching this guy who was dissecting the way he was talking about the Eastern Bloc countries, and he almost has like a love affair with these countries, that he sees them as part of the Russian motherland, and that they were basically taken away from them. So he sees it as like millions of square acres of Russian counterparts were basically taken away by the West.
That's his perspective. His perspective is it that's their land, is it? That he wants it.
That's their land, or they have influence, and they're kind of brothers in other words, So if you look at the breakup of the USSR, he was obviously in the KGB at that time.
Yeah. Wow.
Your sound is jumping in and out.
Sorry. I think I was putting my finger over the thing actually. Yeah. Novice mistake.
Fine folks taking in refugees are heroes, says William Taylor 069. Will it work out 100% of the time? Who knows? Of course not. The lives that are saved are more than worth it. Yeah, and to be honest, it's sad for just regular people in Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah, 100%. It really escalated fast, didn't it? And nobody predicted it at all. As good as all these fucking gurus are, nobody predicted it.
I was watching a week and a half before. There's a journalist. Well, he did a video series on Vox years ago. A fellow called Johnny Harris, and he did a video on the escalation around. So they Russia put 100,000 troops on the border with Ukraine in the weeks leading up to the
yes,
and he was saying it was a military exercise.
Yes.
But basically, they were preparing for an invasion, and people forget, what is it, 2014, he annexed Crimea. The week that he annexed Crimea, I went on a date with this Russian bird. And she was tidy enough. I was like, this is great. So So we went to the Marker Hotel, right? And suddenly Russia annexed Crimea, and it was like it's all getting a bit hairy. So I was asking her, I was like, this is all a bit nuts, isn't it? And she was like,
and what was she for? Was she for Crimea?
Staunch in the Putin camp, like
oh wow,
brainwashed, like strongman, all the way. That was her.
That's why she liked you, Chris. That's why, because you were a strong man.
The guns, like
you ride horses, bare chested,
bareback, yeah.
Bareback.
Yeah. So she was, and I was like, I was chatting to her. Where did we go? I went out on the second day with her or whatever a couple of days later, and she was becoming more Russian day by day.
Like, right, when people become more Irish abroad or more Irish than Irish at home, there's a kind of patriotism there. Do you know what I mean? I can understand that. Yeah, I can understand that completely. That's interesting, though. That is interesting.
I can imagine lots of people getting carried away with it for a while, from their own country. But realistically, Putin's not going to be the one that's he's not going to end up at the front lines. It's going to be just regular Joes from the road. Yeah. Fucking thrown to the wolves,
That's very true. That's very true. How long do you think it's going to go on for, like, or is it going to be the catalyst to start World War III? Or is it already?
The way I see it, if it doesn't kind of come to an end in the next couple of weeks, this could go on for years.
Yeah, there's talk about China invading somewhere else now as well. Taiwan, yeah.
But like that has been on the cards for years as well.
Yeah.
So what happened there was, like, the Chinese, before it went fully communist, the Chinese emperor, or basically the seat of power, was deposed, and he went to Taiwan. So basically there's this idea that there was a split in the faction. The communists believed that they're in power, and the real seat of power was in Taiwan. So he kind of annexed Taiwan in a way, and the US stopped China from invading. To go to war. So they've always had an ownership issue there. It's crazy.
And what is the crack with Biden? People are criticizing Biden left, right, center now. They're saying he's not up for the job.
Again, Biden. I suppose what can Biden do? Biden's fucking hands are tied either way. He gives them more weapons, and if he goes full, like, then he might as well invade with his own troops. Russia. So, like, the last thing you want is to escalate to pressing the red button, and two nuclear powers have never gone to war with each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuck it. And I wonder, people were saying he just wanted the Russian-speaking part of Ukraine. Do you know what I mean?
But I think, like, so if Donetsk and that Luhansk, is it?
I think so. I can't. I remember. I don't know the area yet.
Luhansk and Donetsk, that's on the Russian borders. They've basically got control of that, but there's been a war on there for years. So there's been Russian separatists that have been fighting. So basically, it's a proxy war. They're being armed by Russia. The ones that are fighting against them are armed by the Ukrainian military, or some of the Ukrainian military might be involved. Like, one thing's for sure, that when Crimea was annexed, what the Ukrainian government did do, they did release a load of prisoners to go and fight the Crimeans, and a lot of them were neo-Nazis.
The Ukrainians did?
Yeah.
Fuck.
So there is a very harsh white nationalist Ukrainian faction that were fighting for Crimea. So that's why he used that excuse. He said there was genocide. He said there was genocide against the Russian-speaking people. That was Putin said. Yeah, but he was basically pointing the finger to these neo-Nazis that were fighting against the Russians in Crimea.
Wow.
But like at the same time, it doesn't hold water because Zelensky's a Jew.
Is he? Okay, yeah. That doesn't make sense. Yeah,
so
of course.
It doesn't make sense at all, really.
Yeah.
The whole thing is, I think it's going to be a long struggle. Like,
yeah. And where's Zelensky hanging out? Like, is he safe, or is he's just milling around the place?
He's milling around the place. There's lots of photos of him in Kiev and videos of him in Kiev. I doubt he's in Kiev the whole time.
That could be stock photos. That could be stock videos. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. I suppose like with the war going on, he has gone live on different social media channels while he's there. So you can create that in another place and do it, it's
yeah. Of course.
He'll end up being like Times Man of the Year or something. Zelensky will.
That's if he doesn't get dodged in. You reckon he could get dodged in?
Then he'd definitely be Times Man of the Year.
Times Man of the Year, yeah. Fucking hell. On a lighter note, how do you think Mule will do this year?
Can we send them to Ukraine? I don't know, man. So hard to know. One thing I like what James Horan's done is that he's expanded the squad and he's given a lot more players playing time, and the squad does look deeper.
Yeah, 100%.
So he's blooded the players and he's added to.
Yeah, and I think he's realized that subs win matches. Like, do you know what I mean?
Has to be a squad game.
100%. I think that Dublin brought that to the last. It was the panel that wins the match. Do you know what I mean? Not just 15.
Didn't get through last year.
Yeah,
they didn't have enough off the bench.
Yeah, 100% panels. Look at Tyrone. They brought on the subs, and that made the difference. Yeah,
and in fairness, Tyrone have lost a lot of players. They've lost like 6
players. Have they?
Yeah, a lot of players. A few have retired. A few have taken a break. This is such a big commitment.
Yeah, 100%. I suppose it's hard after you win the All Ireland to go back and try and train as hard, if not harder, to regain it. Do you know what I mean? That must be difficult.
Of course, but and which makes Dublin's, 6 in a row.
Like, was it 6 in a row they got in the finish? It was.
Was it 7?
5.
5 in a row? 6 in a row?
I think it was it 5 in a row? I can't remember. We blocked it out. We had horrors. The horrors over. We blocked it out.
Someone will tell us in the comments how many in a row.
Sure they will. I'm sure they will.
It shows how deep their squad was and how hungry they were and how well trained they were. All of that becomes a lot more impressive when they keep on going back to the well year in, year out.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
I don't know what. So obviously, there's a lot going on over the course of the next couple of weeks, and the live.
Yeah, we've got the podcast with the Guinness Guru and the Skiff, which should be a bit of crack. I don't think I'll be drinking. I think I'm well and truly sick of the drink for a while. Going off the drink like French toast. I'm going off the drink. Jesus, yeah. So it should be a bit of crack. At the launch of a beer, I go off the drink. How is that ironic or is that just fucked up?
Isn't it ironic?
I don't know. Isn't it ironic? Yeah. But that should be fun. And hopefully the beers will be in the shops and you'll be able to get them.
Yeah, so we'll have the beers in the shop for anyone that's watching this that's looking to get their hands on the beer. Just message into the page on the Instagram page, I suppose, and I'll be on there and I'll keep you up to date so you can get the beers wherever they're being stocked. We'll go from there, Pete, I think you're stuck.
Yeah. You're stuck. Maybe it's my internet. My internet's pretty shit.
Yeah. What we'll do is we'll wrap it up. Guys,
I think we'll wrap it up. Yeah.
Anyone that hasn't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. If you want to become a Patreon member, I'll stick a link into the description there. And yeah, look, we'll do another one in the next couple of days, and we'll get the ball show. I might even go live from your come down with me thing tomorrow night if I get down there.
Sure. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Should be able to crack. All right, guys.